12 terrifying creatures from the Silent Hill franchise are described. Imagine suddenly entering another dimension shaped by your deepest fears. The Silent Hill franchise depicts this premise while tapping into the deepest and darkest psychological fears a person can have. It has a unique approach to horror that combines monsters in its universe with familiar yet surreal events. This makes it frightening like nothing you've ever seen before. The monsters here are designed with a highly creepy aesthetic that will send chills down the spine of viewers while playing the games, watching the movies, or reading the comics. This video will highlight a dozen of the most horrifying entities from this franchise. Enjoy! Before we get into our explanation, we have a small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. It's a small click for you, but it means a lot to us. Thank you. Let's get started. The Dark God, also known as the Creator of Heaven, the Lord of Serpents, and various other names, is the mysterious goddess of the sun within the Silent Hill franchise. She debuted in the first Silent Hill game and has become a significant antagonistic presence. The Order, also known as the Organization, is a local sect located within Silent Hill. According to their beliefs, the existence of humanity predates the Dark God. This world is filled with pain and hatred, ultimately leading a man seeking salvation to pray to the goddess, offering a snake, while a woman prays by presenting a bamboo stick. The world feels pity for the pitiful state of humanity, and thus, the goddess is born. Upon entering the world, the goddess brings order by separating day and night, eliminating human immortality, and allowing them to die. This provides them with a sense of liberation. In Silent Hill, the god is depicted as an orange-haired woman wearing a red robe. He believes that he needs help to oversee and monitor humanity, and thus he created several lower gods and angels, including Lop Silvet, Ju Kilbara, and Valtiel. After thinking through a complete version of his world, God decided to create a place where people would feel satisfied forever. This creation required every ounce of power he had, after which he fainted, dying, and promised to return. Dahlia Gillespie is a character who performs an unknown ritual in her home, and as a result, her daughter Alessa becomes pregnant with God. Due to the ritual, Alessa suffers severe wounds that fracture her soul, and the missing part of her manifests as Cheryl, a baby who lands on the highway outside Silent Hill. When Alessa and Cheryl are reunited after 7 years, God appears as an incubator or incubi in the Silent Hill universe. God is perceived as a mysterious entity and responsible for everything. The terrifying events that occur throughout this series, his actions, creations, and desires depict him more as a demon or a goddess of darkness. He has certain power over light, and his physical manifestation appears more as a monster than a deity. Pyramid Head, officially known as the Red Pyramid Thing, is a humanoid monster that first appeared in Silent Hill 2. Wearing a red helmet and dressed like a butcher, Pyramid Head was created as a manifestation of James Sunderland's guilt and desire for punishment. He exists to keep James human and remind him of his past actions. The weapons he commonly uses are the Great Knife and Great Spear, instruments that represent the repressed torment within James. The Silent Hill films and novels have expanded Pyramid Head's role beyond that of retribution and justice, becoming Valtiel's servant. Because Pyramid Head was created to reflect James, he is depicted as a highly masculine humanoid. In front of his helmet, there's an iron plate that he uses to attack other monsters. However, the appearance beneath his helmet is unknown to the audience and players of the game. The film version of Pyramid Head carries a basin with much sharper angles, while all versions of him were an apron made of human skin with nothing covering their upper body. The terrifying Valtiel first appeared in Silent Hill 3, being an angel responsible for maintaining order before his original form. In Silent Hill 3, he manifests as another creature in previous installations of the franchise. The ritual cloak worn by the otherworldly figure in the elementary school scene of Silent Hill, for example, is a tribute to him. Valtiel is a humanoid whose head shakes and vibrates rapidly. This makes their facial features extremely blurred. Their white leather texture and a series of seams are horrifically disturbing. Behind their head, there's something resembling a lip and an ear. They wear the aforementioned ceremonial robes, and their hands and other body parts are covered in blood. Voltiel plays a very passive role in the game. They were created by the dark gods so that they could lead people to obey them, which led to the creation of a special cult in their honor known as the Voltiel cult. They are different from other creatures in the universe, as they are not a manifestation of anyone's emotions or subconscious. They are a unique being from the other world that exists independently of humans and serves directly to God. They turn a valve several times, implying that they can control a change to the other world. Voltiel has no respect for people, and all his actions are driven by the sole purpose of preserving the dark god Abstract Daddy, also known as the Ideal Father. Abstract Daddy can be found in the most claustrophobic areas of Silent Hill. He is first encountered in Silent Hill 2 during a boss fight in the underground labyrinth of Silent Hill. Abstract Daddy later returned in the other world as a less durable enemy in the halls of the Lakeview Hotel. Angela Orozco was sexually abused by her father and brother, leaving her severely traumatized. Ultimately, she killed her father by slicing his throat before she tried to run away from home. However, she was overwhelmed by feelings of guilt due to her actions and contemplated suicide. This damaged her psyche so much that she was drawn into Silent Hill, where the darkest parts of her mind manifested into nightmarish illusions and monsters. That created the town, and thus Abstract Father was born. Abstract Father is a creature that appears as two figures entwined in a sexual position and leaning over a bed frame. James is the only character who could see him in the other world, albeit in a different way than what manifested from Angela's subconscious. He perceives Abstract Father as the memories of his wife Mary when she was bedridden. The lower spherical head of the monster represents Angela and the pain she has experienced over the years. Abstract Father attacks his victims by sticking their heads into a slit in his body. Nurses are recurring characters in the Silent Hill universe, having appeared in some form or another throughout all titles. They are similar in appearance throughout the series and are the most prominent villains in the franchise, alongside Pyramid Head, due to recurring themes of insanity, death, and hospitalizations. Each game takes players to either Al Camilla Hospital or Brookhaven Hospital. Once players enter the medical facility, they encounter monsters that the townspeople have manifested in the form of nurses. These creatures are dressed in modern nurse uniforms, except in the first version where they wear cardigan jackets. In the original Silent Hill, they are known as doll nurses who have either blonde or brown hair. They wear cardigans that are either blue or green, with white blouses and matching skirts. Due to Gillespie's diminished powers, they're controlled by parasites, causing them to develop a hunchback posture. They use scalpels to attack their victims and are highly intelligent. In Silent Hill 2, the nurses are a manifestation of James Sunderland's mind, caused by his wife's illness and his sexual inadequacies. The nurses are dressed in blouses. These are low-cut and cleavage exposing, with their heads turned downward and covered in gauze. Their jaws and teeth are also visible, covered in blood. In the third installment, they appear more human than their predecessors. In the film, they are known as Dark Nurses, where they symbolize jealousy. There are 3 children, also known as Demon Children, Big Children, or childlike monsters in Silent Hill, who wield knives. The Big Children are the first characters Harry Mason encounters in the Silent Hill game after he passes to the other world. He is cornered by the Big Children in an alley, but is rescued by Sybil Bennett and taken to a diner where he regains consciousness. They also appear frequently in Midwich Elementary School. A ghostly form of these monsters, known as stalkers, later appears in the sewers. The Big Children do not appear in the European or Japanese versions of the Silent Hill game. They are exclusive to the North American version only. Instead, they were replaced with creatures called mumblers because the censor board thought they looked too much like real children. The awesome children look like child creatures with pale gray-green skin. They hold long knives and have mouths that look like large orifices instead of eyes. They have a series of incisions on their faces. But in the movie, they have staring eyes, and their faces are twisted on their heads. They burn from the inside out, and scream like a child in agonizing pain. They usually attack their victims in groups of 3 and jump towards them as they approach. Their target, the awesome children, are Alessa Gillespie's classmates who bullied her when she was in school. This caused her extreme emotional turmoil. After being burned alive, she dragged her classmates to the other world where they were turned into monsters and tortured with the same pain that they are constantly undergoing. If they lived in the real world, the big kids would be 40-year-old adults, but they are doomed to remain children forever. You must be the Needler. The Needler appears in Silent Hill Homecoming and is encountered by Alex Shepard in the elevator of the Grand Hotel. He is attacked by 5 of them as they break through the walls of the elevator. The Needler is a humanoid monstrosity with a manly torso and sharp blades in place of limbs. These blades are both its means of movement and its weapon of attack. A Needler appears as if its head has been removed and has a sharp, modified mouth that is located between its legs. There are 2 holes on either side of its chest that slowly open and close. Needlers spontaneously appear in various places in the game by walking along the ground or climbing out of pipes or random holes. They move very quickly and are among the few monsters in the Silent Hill universe that can dodge a player's attacks when attacked from the front. Their severed head-like appearance is a possible omen of Joshua Shepard's death. He dies by breaking his neck. The Needler may be a representation of the truth that constantly gnaws at Alex's subconscious. The twin victims, also known as the Double Head, made their debut in Silent Hill 4, The Room, but have also appeared in the Dead or Alive comic. The twin victims, as their name suggests, resemble a pair of joined twin babies dressed in a dirty, worn scarf. They have pale skin and disproportionately large arms. They use these limbs to stand and move around, not attacking unless provoked and acting indifferent. Their limbs can extend to a surprisingly large distance and can cause damage if they hit someone when they fall. After an attack, they begin to sob and throw a tantrum, as children often do. To fight the twin victims, one may have to use steel pipes, aluminum clubs, or rusty axes. Asphyxia. Asphyxia is an obscure creature that resembles a hideous beast. She is a manifestation of Margaret Holloway, filled with vengeance. Due to the memories of her daughter Nora, suffocation appears as a pile of gruesome female corpses fused together, combined with a centipede's 16 hands, a pair of legs with no feet, and a disfigured face with missing eyes. When Alex Shepard finds Margaret Holloway tied to a chair, he quickly frees her from it, and suffocation appears. Alex carries Margaret to safety. Before asphyxia drags him into a hole in the wall, he locks the door and traps them both in the hole. Despite this, Alex manages to prevail. Although she has several limbs with which she can attack, she mainly uses her 4 main arms. One of her techniques is to spin around and strike her victim down with her tail section. She also attacks her victims head-on or screams loudly to overwhelm the prey. But she does have one weakness. She is relatively easy to deflect or dodge, and her tail section is a weak part of her body. Alex hit this part of her body hard after it was damaged. He put his hand over her mouth, making it difficult for her to breathe, and killed her. The reason for the large number of limbs being suffocated is the method in which Nora Holloway was sacrificed by her mother to appease the Dark God. Despite her hideous appearance, it is clear that Asphyxia's body is highly sexualized. She lives a tormented existence, and a green substance comes out of her tail when she swipes at someone. The Squirrel, Silent Hill Homecoming. Scarlet is a manifestation of Dr. Martin Fitch's guilt over the murder of his daughter. She is also the second boss monster in Silent Hill Homecoming. Fitch murdered his daughter by dismembering her as a sacrifice to fulfill a pact he did with the Order and the Dark God because of his wishes to be reunited with her. She may even be a twisted reincarnation of his daughter. She possesses a higher emotional intelligence than the other monsters in the series and is the only boss monster whose name is the same as the deceased she represents. She first appeared when Alex Shepard found Dr. Fitch in Hell's Descent, which is the broken representation of his mental state in the other world. When confronted with one of his daughter's dolls, it says, "Daddy," which immediately opens wounds and fills the room with a pool of his blood. He drops the doll, which transforms into the monster. Fitch begs for forgiveness for what he did to Scarlet while she was alive. Although the monster seems to consider what he is asking, she ultimately bites Fitch's head off and throws his body aside. However, Scarlet is killed by Alex, who stabs her with a crowbar. Scarlet bears the resemblance of a monstrous, lanky doll-like figure whose body is composed of white armor, which is divided into segments. She resembles a broken porcelain doll that contains a fleshy underlayer. Her head is hollow and can be easily broken. She has needle-like teeth in her mouth and hisses and screams like a snake. In order to harm Scarlet, one must destroy her outer shell. Once defeated, she goes into another phase where she crawls on all fours like a spider and moves much faster. The lying figure in Silent Hill 2 is a humanoid behemoth that lurks throughout Silent Hill 2. This is the first creature that James Sunderland encounters after following the blood trail through Silent Hill. There he finds it feeding on a corpse in a sealed tunnel. A representation of the lying figure is seen in the film and is called the Armless Man. Its entire body is trapped in what appears to be a straitjacket of flesh. It has stereotypically female legs, and its buttocks are exposed for all to see. It wears a pair of platform heels that are covered in flesh. Their method of movement involves running quickly across the ground while emitting a high-pitched, sharp sound. The prone figure's attack strategy involves spraying a poisonous mist from an opening in their chest, forcing their victims to retreat while they take time to recover. The best way to deal with them is from a distance with a pistol. When they stand up, their movement speed decreases. The prone figure represents a patient in a hospital, writhing in agony. It is a manifestation of James' internal suffering and feelings of confinement. The Mad Cancer, which first appeared in Silent Hill 3, is an obese, monstrosity-like humanoid with extreme, Hulk-like strength. Heather Mason first encountered them after picking up a shotgun on an abandoned train. The creatures get their name from their physical appearance, which resembles a cancerous mass. They are covered in fatty flesh, with pus-like substances oozing from open wounds. Their heads are like small balls with an opening that resembles a wound. Their attack strategy involves throwing their fatty arms with sharp claws at their victims. It is best to avoid the crazed cancer and find a safe place to hide. However, given their size, this is often difficult. The crazed cancer represents the corruption in Silent Hill. Additionally, they reflect several other things, such as Alessa Gillespie's feelings that keep coming back. It could also be a manifestation of the fetal god that lies within Heather. Elements of body horror related to sci-fi pregnancy. And if you enjoyed our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Take care of yourself and stay safe. Thanks to everyone.